Hi, I'm Donna Moore Powers, and I'm the instructor for your Biology 1020 course this spring. And I wanted to make a short video just to help you navigate through the course. As you know, most of our online classes are offered through Blackboard. So when you log into MyCCC, you will see the Blackboard link in the top right-hand corner of your screen, and that will take you to your personalized version or your dashboard of Blackboard. Now notice in Blackboard right away there is the OpenSUNY browser compatibility. Some people have issues with their Blackboard courses because they need to adjust their browser settings or update their software. So be sure to run this browser compatibility scan just to make sure that your version or your software on your computer is going to be compatible with Blackboard. Okay, I have more of those tips for you as we go. You're going to find your course over here, Biology 1020 C01. Now notice you're also registered for a lab. It'll be Biology 1020 C71. You never need to log into that course because what I've done is put both lecture-y types of stuff and your lab stuff in simply our Biology 1020 C01 course. It seems to me it's enough clicking already. So anyway, here we are. Let's scroll down a little bit. You can see there's already one announcement. When I submit an announcement, I also check a box so it emails you to your preferred email address that you've given the college. If you're not ever getting emails from me, it probably means you're not checking the email address that you've given the college as your preferred email. So you can come over here in MyCCC and go into Banner and then change your settings for your email. That includes your phone number and your address and things like that. Alright, so let's enter into our course. Now, the version of the course is going to look a little bit different because this is the instructor version. So let me just turn off this edit mode. And enter into the student view. So this will be like it should look for you. Alright. So you're going to see on the left-hand side are announcements. That's where you automatically enter into the course. So you will see the most recent announcement at the top. I've only posted one announcement as of the making of this video. I will post another one today, so you'll see that one in an introduction to our course. Going down the course menu on the left-hand side, you're going to see that in addition to announcements, there is syllabus and the lab manual. So let's click on that. The syllabus is my contract with you. It is absolutely imperative that you read it backward and forward. I even suggest this is the only thing I like for you to print in the course is the syllabus. It's always there for you. There's a checklist of what's due every week, and it's just sort of your backup. You know, have a question about how the team quizzes work or how you'll be evaluated or when your exams are. It's right there. Okay. You're going to see the second thing here is the digital version of the lab manual that accompanies the eScience lab kit. Absolutely do not print this. You may never need this lab manual because in each week of the course, if we have one of these digital labs that are assigned, the portion of the lab manual that you need to see is already there. In the past, like many years ago, there was something missing that students were looking for. Turns out it wasn't in those weekly digital labs, and students had to go back to the lab manual. So it's only here for reference only. Just know it's there. If you need to come back to it, fine. Okay. The third thing down on this left-hand side bar are the course modules. So basically, this is where you're going to find everything you need. Continuing down here on this left-hand side, tips and tricks to accessing the eScience Lab and Blackboard materials. I'll get to that. You're going to see there's a link for discussion. There's also a link for labs. I have to make these visible to you only because in these modules and then further in the weekly modules, you're going to see that there's links to discussions and links to the labs. So I have to make these visible to you. Do you ever have to use these direct links to discussions and labs? Absolutely not. In fact, I would ignore them. I just can't hide them so that you're forced to ignore them. Okay, so let's take a look at how the course is formatted. So we have basically 5 modules. Okay, this is the way that my coworker and I have decided to divide up the course. As you will find out as you read the syllabus, is that we're teaching this in a team-based learning format. So it's not going to be your typical, this week we do chapter 1, next week we do chapter 4, following week we do chapter 5. You're going to see here are specifically the chapter and sections that we are covering. So in Module 2, Chapter 4, some Chapter 8, some Chapter 9, but not all complete sections of the chapter. Okay? So the course is set up in 5 modules, and we go from one module to the next. Each module is about 3 weeks. It might be 2 or 4, depending on the amount of material. All right, so here we go. Module 1, Week 1. This is the first week of our course. Technically, our semester starts this Tuesday, January 17th, as it is in 2017. But I've released the course early, just so you can get in here and start to see what the course looks like. You're going to see in each one of these weeks, I'm going to tell you right here on this page the due dates. These are the same due dates, or should be the same due dates as on the syllabus. Again, if you printed the syllabus, then you just have this hard copy, and then you can check off everything that you've done. Okay, so when I click on the week, now you're going to see those 3 things expanded. So there is a discussion of just basic class introductions, telling us your name, where have you lived in your life, what is your program, 3 words that describe you, and so on. So hopefully you'll get used to doing discussions. You have to click on this class introductions title, then it brings up the forum. You're going to create your own thread, which I still need to create my thread, so I say, I name my thread, hi, I'm Donna Powers, I'm your instructor, and then I answer these questions just as you will. You're going to see up here at the top, it's called the breadcrumb, so you can navigate backwards, usually when you're in the modules, just simply by looking at the top. Okay, so I'm going to go back to class introductions. I actually want to go one more step back to this week 1 module. Okay, so here we are. This shouldn't take you long at all. You are graded on this discussion. I encourage you to respond to other people. This is just an introduction to let us know who you are, get to know you a little bit. Then you're going to see that for each of the modules we have a study guide. So you have 5 study guides to complete. Completing the study guide primes you for all of the activities we do for that module. So it's imperative that you do them. There's a small amount of points that go to completing the study guide. You're going to see, here's the attached file. I put it up as a rich text format because usually every platform or computer can open that. Okay. You're going to see I have specific instructions here. When you open it, you want to save it somewhere you can find again. And for some of you that use Macintosh computer, it's going to want to save this as a Pages file. I can't open a Pages file. So you're going to see instructions about how to do this. Save it as something else. What you want to do is read the introduction to the chapter. It's the first 2 pages of the chapter, and then the sections I've assigned for the module. You want to read first. The biggest mistake students make is they sit down with their study guide and they start looking up definitions in the back of the textbook. That's just bad. Let me show you what this study guide looks like. You're going to see it's also due on Sunday. There's a reminder here that you should never plagiarize, that you should do everything in your own words. And, use your textbook. Don't use the internet, because I'm telling you, the way I'm designing the course is strictly built on, you got it, the textbook information. So here you're going to see the Module 1 study guide. So there's a few things that I want you to do. I don't know why it's not moving, but this is basically it. Here's the instructions again, and then when you're done reading the chapter introduction and the associated sections, which for Chapter 1 is only Chapter 1.7 to 1.11, then you're going to answer each of these in your own words. This is going to prime your brain for the information we're covering in class. Okay, so it's imperative that you complete that study guide. Some people get confused. How do I submit it? Well, when you click on Module 1 Study Guide, it also takes you to the Upload Assignment page. So again, you're just going to kind of look through here. I would not write my submission while I'm sitting here looking at the study guide. Instead, I would make sure to do my own work, save it on my computer, and upload it. So browse your computer. Again, you want to be able to find that study guide. Have it saved in a format I can open, which is usually text or rich text format, docs. I can even do, I think it's ODT. Okay, all right, so then be sure to submit your outline or your study guide. If you don't submit it, then I'm not going to be able to see it. All right, so going through, the very last thing in week 1 is the lab. Many weeks, I'm going to say 10 weeks or so, are going to use labs from your lab kit. You need to get that lab kit. You don't sell the kits, the actual boxes, in the bookstore. Instead, there is a access card. It's called the eScience Lab Kit. Okay, it's not Pearson Mastering Biology. So this first lab should not require you to have the lab kit, but the second week's lab, third week's lab, fourth week's lab require the lab kit. So it's imperative you get that bought as soon as possible. You're going to see here, as a reminder, this is due Sunday, you're going to open each one of these portions of the lab. Again, this is the digital version of the lab manual, so this is why you never need to go back to that lab manual. And then you're going to see, basically this looks like the lab manual. There's even some videos that are in here. And I'll have to be honest with you, we're not covering every single section of every lab. So if you're real savvy, you can come back over here. And for this first lab, we're going to do exercise 1 and 2. So when you're looking at this introduction, focus on exercise 1 and 2 instead of reading the whole entire thing. But anyway, so when you get kind of savvy, you'll get that figured out. So there's some videos in here, some really excellent tutorials. Now I want to point out up here in the left-hand corner, you may not be able to see all of these things. So you may not see this picture, you may not see the video. So when you go under my Blackboard and eScience Lab tips and tricks, this is going to be one thing that you want to make sure is set appropriately, and that's that Adobe Flash is enabled. So I'm going to continue allowing. I don't want to block it. But if you look up here and it looks locked, it may mean that you need to change something. Okay, so you're going to read this introduction. When you open up exercise 1, you're going to see that there is the exercise, some background information, some data, and it says click here to download and solve a few questions. So you need to do that. Every single exercise that we do using the lab manual and the eScience Lab Kit will have an exercise, so there's some questions associated with that. Those questions need to be completed. Not sure if I can get it open quick enough. You need to complete those questions, and here they are, post-lab questions, and you need to have these ready to turn in. There's a couple of different ways that I have you turn in the lab questions. Sorry about this. One way to turn in the lab questions is simply uploading the entire lab, and I will tell you to do that. Instead here, I'm going to ask you to answer just certain questions that if you've done the lab and you completed those post-lab questions, you'll be all set. You just have those answers there. You open up this assessment and complete the questions, okay? If you haven't done the lab and you're sitting down trying to answer it, it's going to be bad news, okay? Let me finish up here by going back over here. What I just did is walk you through just 1 week of the course. Week 2, there's going to be a little bit more, but once you get this flow down, it'll be, it get easier. By week 3, we are full-fledged of the course. All right, tips and tricks. So if you're having issues where you're not seeing videos in eScience Lab, maybe Blackboard's not loading appropriately, please take a look at these links that I set up for you. If you work through this, then you should be all set for navigating the course and being successful in the course. So again, this is just an introductory video. I look forward to seeing your posts about who you are. I'll post mine as well. And starting the semester very soon.